Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's episode. Today we are DIYing a vintage inspired bowl. Apparently these are very trendy and I've seen them at Restoration Hardware for really expensive. Apparently paper mache is supposed to be very simple, but here is what I recommend doing. I personally don't have a shredder, which is why I used this paper from like the gift wrapping section at the Dollar Tree. It's better than being wasteful and shredding paper from home. This bag only cost $1. You're pretty much gonna have to soak this paper in hot water because it breaks it down. It's gonna take a few hours. All we're gonna do is put it into a blender. You don't have to do this, but apparently it works best, and I would agree with that actually. Just put it into your NutriBullet with a little bit of water. It does not have to be blended for too long, honestly, because it's already broken down. It just takes a few seconds. We are going to strain it. Try to get as much water as you can because, trust me, it'll take forever to dry if you do not. Have a bowl ready for you to use. I used this bowl from the Dollar Tree. Actually, I wanted to use something that I wouldn't mind ruining because this was my first time attempting this. But anyways, we're gonna cover it up with plastic wrap just to make sure that it doesn't stick to the actual bowl. Now, I've seen a lot of people use Elmer's glue and you totally can go that route. I personally didn't want to because I wanted to try something new, let's just say that. So I decided to go with setting type compound. This is what we use actually for our walls because our walls are made out of compound. They're not made out of sheetrock. So it's basically like cement for your walls. I thought I would use this for the bowl because I felt like this would make it more textured and obviously a little bit heavier, which is what I wanted. I honestly only eyeballed it. I didn't measure anything. I just poured some compound into my bowl and added a little bit of water until I felt like I liked the consistency. I didn't want it to be watery because obviously it's going to take longer to dry. And also you want it to be thick enough for you to be able to handle because you are going to form the bowl with your hands or a spatula. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the shaping or the molding of the bowl was kind of difficult to do because it is a little tacky. What I suggest doing is using a spatula. It'll actually help you spread it easier. And also my biggest tip is try to do thick layers. That way your bowl is nice and thick. Otherwise, if it's too thin, you're gonna risk breaking it when you take it apart. So here is the bowl. It looks really good actually. It's a little lighter than I expected, honestly. It does look like it's obviously vintage, you know, worn out, like it's been around for a long time. And I've been debating whether I want to trim the edges, like maybe even it out, but this also looks really good. And I've also been debating whether I want to paint it or not. Of course, if I paint it, it'll look more aged. I don't know how I will do with that though. I don't know if I can make it look aged in my opinion. And it actually turned out fine. It did crack on me a little bit when I was trying to take it off. I freaked out because I thought that it was gonna stick to the original bowl. So which is why I started taking it off. But it's holding. I mean, I'm not gonna put anything in here. I think that if I do, it's gonna be probably like, you know, maybe some decor, some beads in there, but nothing like that it's gonna actually make this like a purpose bowl. It's just for decoration. Moving on to paint, I decided to go with warmer tones just because I felt like these warmer tones were gonna achieve the aged look. Now I wish I had a sponge brush, but I didn't have one, so which is why I decided to just grab a piece of paper and dab the paint on it. I think that the number one tip that I can give you to get like the actual vintage look is very imperfect, which means do not, you know, brush or spray paint. I would strongly suggest you do twirling motions. Is that even a word, to paint it, because you want it to look as imperfect as you can. I absolutely messed this up again. Do you ever try, or do you ever do something and it looks good, but you feel like, oh no, wait a minute, something's missing, and then you try harder even though it already looks good and you ruin it? Well, that happens to me a lot, and today is one of those days. This is the process of DIYs, okay? A lot of people don't show the things that they do wrong, and they just show you like, this and this is how you do it, and it's like perfect. Not to me, at least. It doesn't happen to me. I always make mistakes, and something always goes wrong on my end, and I'm gonna show you that. I thought that if I dabbed a little bit of black in there, it would look nicer, but I honestly do not like it. Like, I'm gonna go back, so I'm gonna wash my brush so that I have no black, no gray in there, and I'm just gonna go back with the antique white and try to correct this. Let's see if it works. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. I cannot believe it. All I gotta say is trust the process. Take a look.